I've been here about the last 6 years, the last 4 of which, going on 5 years now, hard to believe, has been as the chief of police. It's a small city, but it exists in a major metropolitan area, and it's surrounded by the city of Oakland, which is an incredibly dynamic, rich, wonderful city. But it's also a city that has its challenges with respect to crime. You know, obviously with the pandemic, it's also posed a lot of challenges, not just here in Piedmont and in the Bay Area, but throughout our nation. Yeah. So about a week and a half ago, we had a burglary that occurred in our city, and the resident, as a lot of residents do now, they have their own home surveillance systems and whatnot, and we really advocate for the use of that. And so we were able to get information from the private citizens' own data sources, their video, and use that information with our license plate readers to identify a suspect vehicle that was involved, and from there identify people associated with that car who were involved in the burglary. About a week after the burglary happened, we put that information, the license plate, in our license plate reader, and the folks came back into town, the crooks came back into town to continue to look to engage in that type of criminal activity. The license plate reader hit. Our officers were able to respond quickly to the location of the hit, found the suspect vehicle, and took the suspects off without incident. But ultimately, the importance of highlighting our community's understanding of how we utilize that technology was explaining those successes. But it's also important to utilize the technology that you're bringing on and to really be able to report out on that return on investment. Our community has invested a lot of money in the technology, but we're able to again kind of communicate with the community about how we're returning that investment based off again being transparent. City councils understand that the community, what's one of the most important things to a community that they serve, is safety and feeling safe. And so from that perspective, the council has trust in this organization to be able to deliver on that because of the partnerships we've been able to make, not only with other law enforcement entities, but private sectors as well, in terms of the tools that we utilize to keep our communities safe. Some of the key things that I'm looking for, and I think chiefs would be well worth looking for right now as we're starting to move forward and have some of the conversations in this country with respect to equity and privacy and some of those just those responsible things from a social perspective, is the company that you're going to do business with, how are they understanding that this is the conversation and dialogue that's going on in our country, and how are they being responsive to that? And trust is built. It's built over time. It's built by how you demonstrate your professionalism, how you demonstrate your competencies, and we've been fortunate to demonstrate that and have a high level of trust and connection with our community. Is the vendor you're working with allowing you in facilitating an ease of communication with your community? That transparency piece, the establishment of things like transparency portals and those types of things where you can share the data with the community as well, is something that I looked for in a vendor that I found with Flock.